And on the third go, CQ Raynet, CQ Raynet. This is G4NRC, operated today by Greg, Golf Zero Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic, views, opinions and information. And additional information and announcements are available on the RAYNET-UK website, which can be found at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means that all calls to be made to the net control station unless you're instructed otherwise. And when you do check into the net, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name and whether or not you have any traffic for the net. If you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, please make it clear that you want to check out at that time. After a few check-ins, I'll pause, recite who I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again, and I will be calling for any strays that occur out of number sequence from time to time. So I'll now begin taking check-ins for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 8 and their call sign wishing to check into the net, please do so now. This is G4NRC. G4NRC, second and final call then for any 8s on frequency today. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard from 8s, so we'll try for 7. Stations figure 7 in the call sign please. G4NRC, over.
Mike Alfred Oscar. Good afternoon, Greg.
G4NRC's got Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon, Dave. And Graham is trying to type into the log sheet at the same time, not quite the right place, to show he thinks he got there first. We have to beat him for audio. Okay, so G7 and the H&M 7 AVO acknowledged. Any other 7s, please? G4NRC, over. G4NRC, so there were 7s, we'll go for 6s. Stations figure 6 in the call sign, please. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, second call for any stations figure 6 in the call sign to go ahead. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, okay, no 6s, we'll go for 5s. One call for any stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4NRC, over. Good, so we'll go down for the 4s, and stations with figure 4 in their call sign, please. G4NRC, over. Italy 2, stroke George 4, Echo Kilowatt, Mexico. G4NRC has got Italy 2 / Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike. Good afternoon, Steve. Glad you're on. Any other fours, please? G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard, so we'll go for threes. Stations figure 3 in their call sign, please go ahead. This is G4NRC, over.
G3VH, good afternoon, Greg. Warm as like everywhere else, I think, in Winchester, 27 degrees. In and out from me, but nice here. G3VH, Winchester.
3 Victor Echo Hotels recognised. Good afternoon, Chris. G4NRC returning. Glad it's only 27 degrees down in Winchester. I wish it had been like that earlier on in the week when I was down there moving Junior into her university digs. Any other threes, please? G4NRC, over. For NRC, nothing heard, so we'll go for the twos, usually the intermediate twos, but any other UK station with 2 in their call sign, go ahead now, please, G4NRC. G4NRC was convinced there was 1 out there. Any station figure 2 in their call sign, intermediate or otherwise, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, he's obviously just listening, so we'll go for ones. Station figure 1 in that call sign, please. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, second and final call for any stations figure 1 in the call sign, please go ahead. G4NRC, over. NRC, nothing heard, so we'll go to zeros and we'll go for Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier this week. From G4NRC, over.
Mike 0, Juliet Sierra Alpha. Alan, East Suffolk.
0 Juliet, Uniform Juliet. Mike, in and out, church negatives. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Mike 0, India Tango Mike, Andy with Shirley, Mike 0, Whiskey X-Ray Gold. Good afternoon, Greg. In and out, please.
G4NRC, you've got some rich pickings there, so Graham and I are jumping over each other on the log sheet slightly. Mike 0, Juliet Sierra Alpha, good afternoon again, Alan. Mike 0, Juliet Uniform Juliet, good afternoon, Mike. I copied you in and out. Mike 0, India Tango Mike, got you, and copied you in and out. And good afternoon as well to Shirley, Mike 0, Whiskey X-Ray Golf, who's in and out. Any other Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please? G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard, so we'll go for Golf 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier. G4NRC, over.
Golf Whiskey 0, Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy. No traffic, so in and out today, please. Over.
G4 and RC has got Golf Whiskey Zero, Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Andy. Copied you in and out. Any other Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard. So have we got any UK stations who haven't called in yet, wish to call in? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, I don't hear any strays, so we'll ask for any international liaison stations, usually notes on band of Norway or Arran and Ireland. This is G4 and RC, over.
Echo India 5, India Echo Bravo. Here is Tom in Dublin. No traffic from me today, so in and out.
G4 and RC, good afternoon, Tom. Echo India 5, India Echo Bravo. Good to hear you and copied in and out. I'll be listening for a few minutes anyway. Any other internationals waiting to join? G4 and RC, over. And RC, nothing heard. It's going to be a short one, which is probably no huge surprise. So, good afternoon all. I'm back from holiday, not that I'll notice, because the current Chester outdoor temperature is 32.9 degrees. Not quite hit 33 yet. And the temperature in the shack is around 27, so I can understand why people don't want to sit inside and play radio today. General warning to those who are taking part today. Today's net's being live streamed by Graham G7NEH to YouTube as an experiment today. The live stream and recording for the next few days will be available by searching for G7NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, on youtube.com. And we'll probably do the same again next week if we get a better audience. Just think it's going to be a benefit for people who don't have digital modes and a means of acting as a supplement to the Friday news and so on. This week's going to be dominated by the impending heat wave, while the 40-degree, potentially plus temperatures might be focused on the south of the UK. One of the risks declared by this high risk of heat is that there is a high risk of failure of heat-sensitive systems and equipment, with the loss of power and other essential services such as water, electricity, gas, or mobile phone systems. This is fairly sensible because a lot of people just specify their electronic panels to work up to 40 degrees C and rely on dumping heat to the outside. When the outside's hotter than the inside, that doesn't work so well. So if we were to have issues, please don't be of the idea that it'll only affect the south. If there is a large area power cut, that can cause an imbalance in the system that could lead to power cuts in the part of the country well away from the affected area as the national grid seeks to protect itself. So please make sure you've got your batteries charged. And if you are in the red area or even the amber area, make sure you're carrying water in the car if you are travelling in case your journey lasts longer than expected, and stay hydrated. Looking ahead, and maybe more next time round, Commonwealth Games comes to the West Midlands on the 28th of July to the 8th of August, bringing an estimated 1 million people to the West Midlands. So hopefully all the rest sensor exercises have been done there to deal with an influx of people that won't necessarily know what they're doing, being tourists. So those are the church notices for today. I'll go to the top of the list as he typed it, which means I go straight to Graham. G7NEH, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G7NEH returning. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg, and good afternoon to all on the net. As Greg said, this net is being streamed over YouTube. Currently, I can tell you we have 2 watchers, and it's just a bit of an experiment. We're just going to see how it goes. So the recording will be up there, as Greg says, for a few days. Well, it'll be up there anyway. So please go and have a retrospective look. Any comments, let us know, and we can surely make some modifications to the screen layout. So what I've got on the screen is the RAYNET-UK web server dashboard, and some church notices, and also a clock with the date and the time. So we'll see how that goes. Chat is enabled, so by all means put any comments in there, and if you like it, like the video, and comment and subscribe. So that's about it from me. G4NRC, G7NEH.
G4NRC returning. Okay, Graham. Well, since I didn't have to do anything for a few seconds there, I've upped your visitor count by 50%, so you've now got 3, and Dave's just been the other one. So that's good. This kind of spawned about from something we thought ages ago when we were doing fault diagnosis. It'd be really useful to see the different dashboards and hearing the audio from a source, and see how long it takes to ripple through the different dashboards to show the latency, the signals crawling through the internet to get from one network to another, and maybe help identify where some of these long delays come from. So thanks, Graham, for doing that, and yeah, I think it'll be I'll do it again next week, and I hope this is cool when we get some more on. Round to you, Dave. Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone on that. Yes, it is me on the dashboard and looking at the YouTube screen. I've just popped up. The only thing I've just noticed, Greg, you're not on there, I'm afraid. For some reason, it's jumped from Graham straight to myself. But yeah, all enjoying the heat here in Calso, or but I am staying inside. I'm not going to turn into a beach suit or anything. Just managed to get my hands on some PVC pipe yesterday, so when we're finished, I'm going to start winding the coil for the 4-meter antenna, ready for our upcoming group nets. But I think the one this coming week, correct me if I'm wrong, is 6 meters, which my virtual antenna should cover anyway. Back to you, Greg. Mike 7 Alpha Victor after G4NRC.
G4NRC, G is returning to M7AVO, and yeah, I can see what you mean. This is Guy's latest rewrite of the dashboard and so on in, I think it's Rust he's got it done in, that is not, he says it should update faster and not have to wait for other things to update in the background. But it's caught me out as Alan and I found in the pre-net quick test that it's not always updating for everybody immediately. But we'll get there, and at least you can see the issue now. I am seeing myself in my own rendition of that dashboard, so that's why I'm moderately confident I'm pushing the push to talk and being heard. In terms of trying other things, you nearly confused me then with saying it was 4 meters, because I was still thinking it was 6 meters. and I will be putting a message out to West Cheshire Raynet to let them know what our net is going to be on the 20th this week, as we move away from 2 metres and try some of the other bands. I was getting very confused again about which order we were doing this in. Just as an aside, after mentioning messages and we mentioning the heat wave, just something else for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, now we're up to 6 or 7 watching, is that Cheshire Local Resilience Forum has activated their severe weather plan, so I'm expecting that other counties may have done the same. Such plans do just ask people to communicate with each other and share their information, but there's no great detail about what they're going to do in wind, snow, or otherwise. But at least it's activated and the voluntary sector has been woken up accordingly. Okay, next, somebody that doesn't think this is a heat wave at all, because when I looked, the temperature in Rome was 35 degrees, so we're still playing at it. Italy 2/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4 and RC, over.
I'm hoping that this is working a little bit better now. I had to recalibrate the hotspot quite severely from the last time I was actually using it a few weeks ago, after doing a repair on the antenna. But it's well and truly changed. I had an offset before of some reason about 620. Now I'm up to 1400. So something's changed within the profile of the little hat on the Raspberry Pi. You're right. This is nothing unusual here. So I just had a quick look at the temperature there, and it's 31 degrees in the shade. I've got a little sensor attached to the bark of one of the trees here. Like I say, it's about 31 degrees. It's been like this all the time I've been here, actually. The weather's supposed to be getting a little bit hotter next week. I think we're supposed to be getting towards the 40 mark. One thing that we have got, and it doesn't apply to the UK, but we've got a severe drought here in Northern Italy. The Lago di Maggiore is about 25% full, so it's a bit difficult to water the garden. I've got to do it discreetly, put it that way. So hopefully the transmission has been a bit better this time than what it was on the previous time I checked in. G4 and RC, I2/G4 EKM.
For Italy 2/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4 and RC returning. Okay, Steve, after an initial heart-stopping moment where you double-dipped on the push-to-talk and showed a high error rate accordingly for the remainder of the over after the first couple of seconds, no packet loss, no bit error rate, the offset check is absolutely wonderful, and that's perfect audio. So that's a win. Yeah, noted you've got a drought. I think I saw there was a question about whether one of the rivers would actually restart. And what path would it take? It had actually got that dry that rivers weren't going to be there anymore. I am not seeing anything from colleagues in Spain or France at the moment implying they've got infrastructure issues as a result of the high temperatures. What they have is wildfires, and the fire attracts a lot more attention than the fact that the power's gone out because the poles have been burned down. So that's their focus. No emergency comms known to be deployed, but it is obviously a thing. And for some of the campsites who are in dry areas already, it's a bit of a nightmare trying to tell the customers no barbecues, no fires, please, otherwise you won't have a campsite to come back. So yeah, the weather is affecting more than the UK. is going to be around for a few days, and hopefully it will be fine. The high temperature, I think in mainland Europe, they've been much more used to designing electronics to work at 40 to 50 degrees because that's where their ambience have been. But it's only recently in the UK that some standards changed to stop being 35-degree ambient and start to move up to 40-degree ambient. So we could have some equipment that's getting slightly cooked. Excuse me. Right. Next to Alan. And Alan, once again, I tried not to make you last on the list, but guess what's happened? Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha, G4 and RC, over.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. I was just how personally, I think best things are left to the end anyway. But for the last couple of weeks, we're away, holidaying and struggling with the site for FDARs, so I'm going to have a bit about. But I'm here today. Yeah, I see 29.2 in the garden today. I don't know what the shack temperature is because I took the shack from outside. But we appear to be red warning tomorrow and maybe Tuesday, saying 37. So that's hot on up here. I'm finding it very draining as I sit to one of my Raynet colleagues today. That's already been put on standby, that I'm the person who's been put on standby to support, being old and vulnerable. But never mind. Suffolk Resilience Forum apparently has put Forest Heath, which is the west of the county, on standby. We may be, but I'm not sure. I haven't been told officially I'm on standby over here in the east, because obviously it's cold near the coast. Unless you're stuck with the A14 in the middle of many hundreds of cars trying to get to Pheonix for the day. I was going the opposite direction, spent some time up on the FDR site at Ipswich. Did get fairly warm by lunchtime. We disappeared into the cold shack, so that was okay. Other than that, not much major to report, unfortunately. Not been doing a great deal. I've been trying to fight my way back onto the bench in the workshop to build some stuff, but so far I've been too drained of all the heat. So, back to you, Graham. G4 NRC. Oh, Greg, sorry, not Graham, sorry. I noticed on the YouTube thing the screen is not updating very often. I've still got Steve on it, and I missed you and me. So there you go. Back to you, Greg. G4 NRC. I'm JSA rambling slightly, sorry.
Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha, G4 and RC returning. Okay, Alan, I've forgotten quite the phrase you said then about being the old and vulnerable, but the same applies to a lot of our infrastructure. I certainly don't think the train lines are the place to be, strikes notwithstanding, but if we have to start painting the train lines white to reflect the heat in the thought that that's going to stop physics and train lines expanding, I'm wondering what's going to happen tomorrow when the temperature really does build up on something like the West Coast Main Line. But, okay, nice information that Forest Heath are on standby. And yes, the A14, we don't have. In England, Highways England has something which I think was called Operation Cura, which was how to deal with the welfare of people stuck on the motorways if there was a blockage for any description. And the statistic I remember from that was something like you could have 1,000 cars per mile of motorway or kilometre of motorway stacked up. It was a large number, and when you had an indeterminate number of passengers, it just really lit up the idea that if you have a 5 or 10 mile tailback, you have hundreds and hundreds of people needing support that are difficult to get to. And the A14, in some ways, is a motorway in all but name. It's a nice big main road which has lots of traffic on it, like you say. So, okay, well, we'll keep fingers crossed. I am having to go onto my job site tomorrow, unless I log in later and find we've all been waved off. But some employers are saying go to site anyway, so that's what we've got to do. And if the air conditioning's turned on, I might not complain. Right, unusually, but since we are running a little bit light on people, are there any other members of RAYNET-UK waiting to join in to the activity period today? Please call now. This is G4 and RC. Over.
G4NRC, G8KRC, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie. Very good afternoon, Greg, and apologies for being late, but I have been listening. I can put the racks on. Can you hear me?
G4NRC, so I've got Phil, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, and good afternoon, Phil. You can tell me in a minute where you were up to. There's another station there that doubled with you, so I've just got the back end. Mike 6, Romeo Oscar Uniform. Mike 6, Romeo Oscar Uniform. Let's try again, over. G4NRC, I'll try again, because he was coming in through Brandmeister. Mike 6, Romeo Oscar Uniform. M6ROU, you called in and said, can we hear you? So, yes, I could. M6ROU, G4NRC in the Raynet activity period. Go ahead, over. G4NRC is not coming back to me. Okay, Phil, anything from you to contribute to the net before I go back to the top of the list? G8KLC, G4NRC, over.
Yes, G4NRC from G8KLC. No, not really, Greg. So apologies for being a bit late. I got engrossed in some code. The radio came on just as you were looking for internationals. So I got all the church notices and what have you, which is fine. Most people have nice clear signals this afternoon. No problem there at all. Yeah, it's a bit warm up on the edge of Lincolnshire. Generally keeping out of the way and trying not to get too upset. Noticed from the Pi Star dashboard that the poor little Pi sitting in the cupboard in the shack is currently running at 137 degrees Fahrenheit or 58.5 centigrade. That's a little warm, but it's not red. It's still sitting in amber, and it probably means the cupboard door is shut. Well, I thought I left it open, but such is life. I'm not in there, so that's the main thing, actually. Nothing heard from local LRFs. Slightly amusing story. I spoke to a gentleman on the parish council and asked what resilience plans they had, if any, and the answer was, what's resilience? So that was a bit worrying, but there you go. G4NRC, G8KLC in the group.
G8KLC, G4NRC returning. Yeah, okay, Phil, I think it is variable. I know I've got a very new Raynet member in my group who is a parish councillor, local councillor of a parishy description. And he's ex-military and is driving them into doing some planning after the power failures of storms earlier on in the year. So I think if there's somebody on the council with interest, then it happens. If they don't know about it, then they tend not to do it and leave it to the city council or the unitary authority or whatever else is the next layer up. So understand how that's going to be a bit variable. So thanks for that. I'll come back to you at the very end in case we've got any other pickups, but I'll go back to Graham at the top of the list, and we'll do this last round. G7 and the H, G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC calling G7 and the H. G7 and the H is computer still live, but the stream's still running. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing from Graham, so presumably he's engrossed in the stream. I'll try calling him at the bitter end. Down to you, Dave. Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Not a great deal to add from this end, Greg. Yeah, we'll catch up with you on Wednesday night, will it be? 20th, for our local net on 6 metres. And we'll look forward to your email. Get ready to get tea ready now. And for those who live in Wheatwood Land, and Greg will know this, there's a couple of bottles of Old Dog in the fridge to go with it. Back to you, Greg. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
NEH.
M7AVO, G4NRC returning. Graham, I'll come back to you next. Yeah, okay, Dave. Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday on the 6 metre net, and I'll put a announcement out one way or the other. I might give the SAR stuff system another little exercise, just since it works, and having added everybody on ready for the heatwave warning issued out yesterday. So it might be an email, might be an SMS, but at least we'll make sure everybody gets the message. And in terms of beer, my local village, a home of a brewery, hopefully not known too far outside Cheshire, called Spitting Feathers, decides to have its own beer festival every weekend. Oh, sorry, every year. So yesterday was Beer Festival Day, and the music could be heard around the village. Back up to you, Graham. G7NEH, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G7NEH. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of my last over you got, Greg. Just to let you know that we're streaming very well, and we've not dropped any frame rates. Streaming at 30 frames per second, which is good enough for what we want. Yeah, just to note comments, a couple of people have noted in the chat, Steve, that most contacts seem to be coming through BM or the Raynet server. Yeah, maybe need to look at that. It doesn't seem to be updating very much. The Raynet dashboard have got up. I can't reply to the chat, by the way, with OBS. Again, that's something else I need to read into. But yeah, all the learning curve. So I don't know how much of the last over you got. G4NRC, G7NEH.
G4NRC. Didn't get any of the preceding over, Graham. So that was the. So you skipped your turn, which is why we went down to Dave. Didn't get anything at all. But yeah, okay. Well, 7 viewers it peaked at, which is a good start for practice. And we'll see what people, when we get a wider audience, see what people think of it. I might throw it at the com meeting on Monday as well, since we don't have any other com on today. Right, next back to Steve. Italy 2/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, this is Italy 2/G4 ETM. Yeah, sorry about the before. These little anytones, you've got to have a really good grip to keep the BTT going. That's a thing. I've actually got my laptop out in the gardening examples, doing some gardening at the same time, and there's a gripping monster just landed on my screen, so that he's obviously taking a bit of notice as to what's happening. The river that you are talking about, Greg, in Northern Italy, I believe is the River Po, and that's the one that's quite low down as well. Yes, and wildfires, that's one thing that we've got to keep an eye on. The house is literally about 50 metres away from part of the forest, and we've got a great big mountain full of trees, etc. So that's one of the things that we always keep an eye on. We had some wildfires last year, and it's amazing when you watch the fire engine, well, not the fire engines, but the helicopters, how they actually dip the boats in the water from the which is set up at the local sports centre, and take it over the mountain and distribute it that way. But no, I'm actually just sitting in the garden with a bee myself, doing some gardening at the same time. Try to live a little bit later, but it was like the other day I decided I was going down the lake to do some fishing. Decided to leave it till about 4 o'clock, thinking it would cool down. But when I left the house, it was 34 degrees. I got down the lake, it was still 36, and that continued till about 6:30 in the evening. So there wasn't any let up on anything like that. Other things that are happening, Craig, I had a VLEG meeting earlier in the week, which was interesting again to promote Raynet in the area. And as you're probably aware, we are looking for some administrative changes to some of the groups within our zone, and hopefully we're going to get that progressed. I've had no oppositions to it, so I think we're going to get that progressed probably early September when I return to the UK. And by the way, it was lovely meeting you with Friedrich Staffen. That was a good evening there, Greg. Okay, all the best. Thanks for the net, and catch you next week hopefully. G4NRC, I2/G for week here.
Slew/Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, G4NRC returning. Yeah, okay, thanks for the reminder of the River Po. It's actually a famous one, so I don't know why the name had totally slipped my mind. Wildfires, so after Friedrich Staffen and seeing Steve, and I'm still wobbling my head to absorb everything that happened at Friedrich Staffen, then spent 12 days in Greece and in the area of Rhodes, and it was very obvious, very dry there, 32 degrees on average, and we saw one fire, as I say, start up. We could see the smoke, and by the time we'd got to it in the taxi down the road, there were already 2 fire engines on it, beating the fire into submission before it had a chance to take a hold. So it's definitely not something you want to lose. Of course, we do get those in the UK, and we will no doubt have problems across the Staffordshire moors and the moorland around Greater Manchester. I think there have been 5 or 6 fires already that have had to be put out by the services as a consequence. But let's get through the 2 days of excessive heat for the UK first, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it was good meeting you, and we'll talk again. Next to Alan, Mike 0, Juliet Sierra Alpha, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, it was a Jazz Sullivan. Thanks to Philip for coming up, which means I'm now not lost, which is nice. Yeah, nothing else to report, really. I think I said it all last time round. I'm not good with heat, which is not a good start. What I actually said, Greg, was being a retired person with health issues with breathing and that, I'm one of the people that the resilience firm need to be looking after, rather than me being out looking after me. But never mind, we'll see. The problem with an ageing population of Raynet members is the trouble. But we'll see, hopefully we won't get called and everything will be fine. I'm not planning to do anything, certainly during the day tomorrow, Tuesday, particularly Tuesday. I was supposed to be going to Ely for the day, but I did cancel that, because that's not a good place to be. It's definitely going to be hot there, so well away from the sea. To see what the weather brings, and hopefully That will be good. We don't get any heath fly, because a lot of heath around here, not more, but heathland. That can catch fire, but I can't remember the last time we had a serious fire, so fingers crossed. Thanks for running that, Greg. Much appreciated. Yeah, a bit more advertising on the YouTube feed and try that again next week. Sounds like a good idea. I'll promote it when I can, and I'll catch it all later. Best 73. Back to you, Greg. G4 NRC, M0 Jazz Santa Group.
Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha G for an RC returning. Yeah, well, we've been mumbling about it for a while, and Graham seized it and has picked it up. So he's not got many subscribers on his feed, so it was easy to do it that way around to get the bugs beaten out of it. It would be really nice if we could throw this across onto the Raynet YouTube channel as well, since that one's now up to well over 100 subscribers. Once we got to the point of having our own named channel again on there, getting that back. Okay, thanks. Take it easy, Alan. Hopefully talk to you next weekend. And you did notice what I did there by keeping Phil hanging around. You weren't going to be last. G8KLC, you get to wrap up the net for us from G4 and RC, over.
Yes, G4 and RC from G8KLC. Well, always there to help where possible. There's not much to follow up. Having a quick look around the company website. If you go onto the maps, so don't log in, but if you go onto the map and you click on the various zones, I think zones 1 and 2 actually throws up an error on the screen. I just noticed. Zone 3 doesn't throw up an error. It's just a little bare. And I didn't go out for the rest of them. But there's a few scripting errors that seem to have popped in. And noted the CRM meeting on Monday being zone reports based. I suspect it will be a short meeting. You haven't got many ZCs, which is something that needs to be sorted, I feel. Is on my list of things to whinge about within the zone. But we'll have to see how that one progresses. I think that's probably it. I don't think there's anything else. Battery's fully charged. Water's laid in stock. Not going to go anywhere. I know where the cool places in the house are. So we'll end up there. If we get a power cut, I'll catch up on the reading. If we don't get a power cut, I'll catch up on some of the software and some of the documentation that I'm trying to generate. We did find out the problem with the logos, but that got sorted out fairly quickly. I think there was an email delivery problem, but a bit of lateral thinking got around the problem. So that's good to know. So that's ticked off the list. The only other thing I'm waiting for now is to see what IT are doing about the agreement in the principle. I'm now waiting to see whether it materialises as excuse me. So I'm hesitating. I've forgotten the word I'm looking for. It will come to me. Yes, subdomain. Got agreement in principle, but that's fine. I'm now waiting for that to come into practice. So if that came up on Monday evening, that would be great. But I don't have a ZC to run at. G4 NRC in the group, G8 KLC, and I promise to be quiet now.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 NRC returning. Well, you do have a ZC because you just whinged at me. Yeah, I've got it in my head to keep the questioning going about the subdomain. I also checked out the new website, which seems to have had some progress made on it over the last month. So I need to dig into that a little bit more ahead of Monday, ahead of the meeting myself, to see where that's up to. So don't worry, it will get mentioned. Thanks for pointing out the There were presents 1 and 2 errors on the website. You have just verified those, and you've reminded me that somebody, who shall remain nameless to protect the innocence, found an issue with talk-through reports as well. So I think I'll be doing a sort of bumper email of issues raised and see whether they're on the fixed list or not. So we had a database error earlier on in the week as well, which may also cause some issues. Okay, Phil, thanks for the input. And ask me for progress next week, how we got on. Right, with that, we've gone around the net twice, so it's hot. It's still 32-something degrees here in Chester, and it's now getting over that 27 degrees I thought I said it was before here in the shack, so time to be somewhere else. So I'll thank everybody for taking time out of their schedules to participate in this afternoon's net. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time, I'll close the Raynet UK weekly activity net and return the talk groups to open use rather than a direct net. 730, this is Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie now closing and reverting to our normal call sign of Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.